Bonjour, welcome to the Notorious DID. I am Valpre. Today I want to discuss excessive sleeping and DID. This that I discuss is strictly about ourselves. I do not know if this is a standard for others that have DID too or no. So it's a given that you have a lot of downtime and not being active when you have the seizures. However, I have encountered, and I would imagine several of our others have encountered, the fact that we have excessive sleeping bouts, times when we excessively sleep, almost like a sleeping beauty. I believe there is something that's similar or called a sleeping beauty syndrome or something like this. I'm not referring specifically to this because I do believe when I checked that it did not fit our specific realm or issues. But today I am so late getting anything started because it is already 5:19 Eastern Standard Time in the United States, and I just recently got up close to 5. Our sleep cycle is a train wreck in the first place, definitely say. But I further say that is making me even more difficult when we have excessive sleeping, because to get things done is how you're going to do when you are out cold. I'm not even sure why we seem to be requiring such excessive sleep, and we do. We are definitely most of the time throughout that sleep dreaming, to the point of remembering and recalling what the dreams are when we wake up. So they say that that's an extreme deep sleep. So we're in extreme deep sleep for an excessive amount of time, and we are having dreams, different dreams. So I'm not clear. I would imagine part of it might be have to do maybe with the sleep apnea, but I don't think it would have everything to do with. But I mean, today I can't recall exactly what time this morning I went to sleep. I know I was up real late, putting together, changing or adding to the YouTube videos different languages, putting the translations on for more people to be able to watch. So if you happen to be one of those persons that watches this in a different language, know that you can go back to some of the other videos that don't currently have it. I am working on that so that you can enjoy all the videos. That takes hours and hours of time to do, at least a couple of hours per video. So I've been working hard at doing that and getting that set up, because to me it's important to reach everybody possible with information about DID and awareness and people that have it. So I have been doing that, and I was up until the wee hours of the morning doing so. But when I lay down, still to not get up until 5 in the afternoon or evening, it's not acceptable. It's a long sleep, excessive sleep, as I say. And if you can see, I love this camera that's on my laptop because it seems to do an overall on us to make us look better than we actually do, to me. But I don't know if you can tell, but I've got bags from that excessive sleep and today that I could travel all the way to Catalonia with and not have a problem. So, what to do about the excessive sleeping? Well, I'm not sure. I have attempted to do different things to limit the excessive sleeping, and none of it seems to work. Even with taking a form of stimulant or a form of herbs and things like this that promote activity, they sometimes limit it to where you're going and you only sleep maybe a couple of hours a day, that's obviously not good either. But I've not had those cycles, just to give you the information. I've not had one of those cycles recently to where I only slept 2 hours a day. So no, I'm not catching up on sleep. So the excessive sleeping stands alone on its own today. Now, could it be specifically related to our switching? Possibly. I'm sure that the body takes a wear and tear, because I know that the mind does, and our headaches are excessive when we do have that take place. There are some videos that were taken about this matter, and I will be putting those together because I feel it's important to be transparent, 1000% honest and transparent, so that we're not going to hide the bad parts about DID. We're not going to sugarcoat it. We're not going to make it look pretty in a bow. We're going to be honest with you. So I will be, when I can stay awake long enough, putting together that information and releasing that. But we have had a lot of switching and things of this nature. Now, yesterday, me and Solora, we were not co-conscious. So the 2 days prior, I have had seizures. That weighs on the body as well. But as I was stating, me and Solora were no co-conscious. However, we kept switch out. Literally, throughout one movie that I have on to listen to in the background while I am doing the auditions to the languages, which I should say also I do enjoy. I do enjoy translating things. it's calming to me to translate things. So it's reaching a good level for others to understand, as well as the fact that, as you know, that I have the healthiest, most active cats in the world. I am both glad and saddened by this, due to the fact they're noisy. I realize I personally get off topic several times, and I apologize, pardon, for such. There's a kitty right now. So as I was stating, throughout the movie, we switched at least two to three times that I know of. And she is capable of also doing the information that we have is shared mostly, I will say not 1000%, but mostly between the three primary. So if one of us comes into play from the other, we can standardly pick up from there, figure out what we will do and do it. But she's capable of doing the translations and stuff like this too, so there wasn't a huge gap or anything like that with what we were actually doing. She may have went and done something else, I don't know. We're not that closely related to where we know exactly what the other's doing. That's not into play at all. Could these mental switches and the body switch, could it play a huge role on the body's stress level? I would imagine so. I know that normally when we switch, depending upon how bad or severe it is, we can have massive migraines, we can have sharp pains in our heads, we can have a lot of things that take place during the switches that do affect physically the body. Can it create the excessive sleeping? I do not know. And I've no had anyone be able to explain the excessive sleeping. So have we asked a professional about these excessive sleeping issues? Yes, we have. We have asked a professional about these excessive sleeping issues. We have even had sleep studies and things along this line done, and to no avail, because they say if it's not taking place at the time that you have the sleep study, they cannot answer what it is. They cannot tell you what it is. This goes for if it had anything, if the seizures had anything to do with cataplexy, they cannot tell you, because if it didn't take place that night when you're hooked up to the machines with the sleep study, which makes reasonable sense, they don't have the data to read to understand what took place, what happened. And of course, when you're going to a sleep study to find out what's happening, of course nothing happens. That particular night, nothing happens. You just have a little bit of, we have been told we have a little bit of lack of oxygen levels at times. Thus we snore, not to the point, I mean, that would be, of course, the sleep apnea, so on and so forth, that they speak of. But it's not to the point of where it's excessive. It's just enough where you could wear a CPAP if you wish or no. So that's not a huge matter of what's going on. And if it doesn't take place, it's kind of like if you don't see it, then you don't know it happened. Which I understand. I cannot blame the professionals, because obviously their data is based on machine equipment, and you're not hooked up to these machines throughout your life, so you don't have access to the information when it takes place. And it is unfortunate that these things never seem to take place when you're hooked up to the machines. I personally think it's the devil's work. He is busy out there creating further issues, and I do not appreciate it. If at times you see a pause and then you notice I look like I've been belted in my eye, it's only because with my skin, if you rub your eye, for some reason it looks like I got punched right in the eyeball. Didn't happen, so don't worry. Just was a little eye rub. But so I'm unsure what to do to stop the excessive sleeping. I don't want it to the other side where I'm constantly taking these stimulants, whether they be herbal or medical or whatever. I don't want to constantly be taking stimulants, because then obviously, especially in our situation, the body is going to be exhausted and I'm not going to be getting enough sleep. But I don't think it's good or healthy to the other extreme either, with getting excessive sleep. I know a lot of people are like, well, if you just sleep all day, what's the problem? Well, when it's a constant issue outside of, obviously, we already have downtime because of the seizures, then now we've got excessive sleep coming into play. With those going on, when we wake up, no matter what it's from, we have to hit the ground running, as one of the others put it, I believe, Laura. But that's very good phrasing. It's good phrasing to use, because it's true. Literally, my daughter come in and she asked me if she was make something to eat. She asked me if I want hot dog, because my daughter, she's such a good little cherub. She always look out for her mama. She's such a good cherub. I love her so much. But she comes to check and see if I need something to eat or if I need something to drink, and make sure I do. So I have the best daughter in the world. If I had to have something that's so difficult like this, I would say I have been blessed to have my daughter and her emotional support, and for her to be there. She may be the only one in the world that we really genuinely have, but that is so much enough. And I hate the fact that we are letting her down. Not even so much about letting ourselves down, but letting her down too. Because as a parent, that's not what I'm supposed to do. I had no intentions of crying or getting upset, but I can't help it, because it's another part of the truth. It's so difficult. And there are times when you're going to be upset. And as I said, letting her down, it hurts worse than anything in the world. Knowing that I'm not able to do and I'm not doing the things that I need to do to make life better for her and to make it more. It's hard. It is so hard. Knowing that you're letting yourselves down is bad enough, is one thing. But knowing that you're letting others down and others are impacted so much by what is going on in your reality and your life. There's really not enough to say about that. There's just not. And this excessive sleeping, it just doesn't help. There are so many things to do, so much to get done. As soon as you come out of a seizure or as soon as you wake up, you literally, like I say, you've got to hit that ground running and you've got to start in. And first thing I do is I get this done because it's important. And then from here, I'll of course be working again. I'll be working toward the goal of trying to make a stable life and make stable income, because it doesn't just impact us, it impacts my daughter as well. And that is really the issue. That's the hugest issue. If you think that we do this merely for ourselves, no, no. It's helpful to us, but we do, my motivation, I can't say we, but my motivation is that child. My motivation is my cherub, because she deserves so much. And I want to be able to facilitate that. So no matter what I have to do, I'm constantly working toward that, to get the stability back that we once had financially and things of this nature. Aside from that, it is so important to me individually to be honest and transparent, so that you realize what those of us with dissociative identity disorder are genuinely going through. Genuinely. Awareness is only part of the battle. But if you can maybe possibly understand somebody that is in your life that has this disorder a little better through these videos, and it helps somebody, it's all worth it as well. Putting ourselves out there, putting ourselves on display is of no consequence to us, because this is our life. This is what's going to happen, whether we're in front of a video or not. It's going to happen, and it's our life. So its only purpose is for us to know each other better, to get some form of balance if it exists, which I'm not sure it does anymore. And to bring awareness. And I hope from the bottom of my heart this has taken place, because I know no matter how rare this situation is, it is very, very hard to deal with. And no having anyone else in the world but your alters. I'm sure, unfortunately, there are people out there who have dissociative identity disorder, and the only ones that they have is no one outside the body. And for you, I feel the most, because I know how hard it is, even without my daughter. I know how hard it is. You can have so many people within yourself, within the body, I should say, and still feel at odds and alone. So I'm going to close for right now, because as I said, I've got a million things I need to get to, and there doesn't ever seem to be enough time to get anything done, especially with all of the conflicts and issues in between that. I thank you for joining me. I hope it's been helpful in some way to anybody. A request that you like, you share, subscribe to our channel, join the Notorious DID community. We would greatly love to have you. Hit the notification bell so that you can know each time that we post, because we try to be regular about that, but nothing's regular in our life. We have tried to post within around 5 o'clock Eastern Standard Time in the United States, but sometimes that's a challenge. We try. So if you know anything about excessive sleeping and you have any ideas to help, if you know anything that does not involve additional stimulants or something of this nature to prevent us from ever sleeping, then please comment below. I deeply appreciate that. It would be so helpful. I will share with you, if you have a problem with focus from ADD or ADHD, or if you have a problem with sleeping excessively like we do, like I say, I will share with you what we use. And this is not a promotion that I'm getting paid for. Just genuinely, I use it. And it works. If you take one, well, with my chemistry, if you take one, it helps with keeping you on point, focused, and going for 8 hours at a time. And it's called Brain Awake. It is by Irwin Naturals, and the focus levels are extraordinary. So this is what it looks like. I know that there are several places that you can get this, and it's not extremely expensive either, because obviously amounts of money are important. It comes with 60 soft liquid gels, so it's not a matter of that. Depending upon how many you take, then you can take up to 3 a day. So depending upon with your chemistry, it may last longer, it may last shorter, of course. But this is, it says think clearly, works fast. It does, when it says work fast, for our chemistry, which is all I can speak of, for our chemistry, it takes a half an hour, around a half an hour, or maybe a little bit longer. But once it kicks in, you feel better, you feel like you know what you're doing. You can think clearly, you can focus, get things done a lot better. This is an excellent alternative for those of you out there that do have ADHD or ADD and don't want to take the chemical versions of like Adderall or Ritalin or things like this. It's an excellent substitute that is totally herbal and will not, it's healthy. It doesn't have the chemicals. Because it is a form of a stimulant, it does say, after read the packaging, if you have any kind of a heart condition or high blood pressure or on anticoagulants, blood thinners, it does say, you know, speak with your doctor about it. I can say, personally, with my chemistry, I do have blood thinner that I'm on Xarelto. So I'm also on a high blood pressure medication. I've been on high blood pressure medications since I was 15. So I don't have any issues at all with it. That does not mean that you shouldn't ask your physician if you feel you need to or want to, because I want you to be healthy. I don't want you to take any kind of risk if you feel you're taking a risk. But obviously, because it's a stimulant, just like caffeine, things of this nature, they may tell you to avoid, but I'm on both and it's very helpful for me. It doesn't have any issues. Obviously, if you have a regular bed cycle, you wouldn't take it right before bed because it's meant to be a stimulant. It's meant to keep you going and focused. It's exceptional, I'm sure, for if you're in college and you're studying, because it helps with retention and it helps with focus and it helps you understand things and enlightens you a lot better as well with being able to study. I did just check on to see if for those people who have children that have ADD or ADHD, if it would be applicable. Evidently, currently as no, because it does say that it says 18 years and up. I would imagine that's probably in place as for insurance purposes for the product. It being, like I say, it being herbal, I'm unsure as to specifically why that would take place, but then again, I'm no scientist, so that could be why. But so that's the recommendations. That's what they have about it, and my recommendation is it's exceptional. It is exceptional. If we were constantly taking it, again, those are days. If I'm constantly trying to stay up, then one every 8 hours will keep you going. It keeps you going, and if you take it and then you go to sleep, I will say you're only going to sleep for maybe a couple of hours. Will you sleep? Absolutely. But you'll only sleep for about a couple of hours, and then you'll bounce back up and you'll be wanting to do stuff. So I don't recommend that, but there are those of us who have things we have to do, so that's the long and the short of that. But again, Brain Awake is very helpful, and it's herbal. So enough of my saying about Brain Awake. It's an exceptional product, I do say. But so I'm going to actually close. I know I'm long-winded, and my daughter says I talk a lot, which is true. This has been Varbre, and I say adios.